Well, welcome again to another session of the 15th annual Transforming the Teaching and Learning Environment virtual conference. I'm Bob Ailes, I'm your moderator. We This session is experiential online learning, boy, it's a long day. Participatory community game case study. We have with us from Rutgers University, Alexis Lowe and Holly Nelson. You're both in the Department of Landscape Architecture, is that correct? Great.
Correct.
Well, you can tell us all about this case study, so I'll turn it over to you two.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. And thank you all for joining us today, and Bob for organizing this conference. So as he just mentioned, I am Alexis Lowe, and this is Professor Holly Nelson. She could raise her hand. There she goes. And we're both from the Landscape Architecture Department at Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So helping us with today's session are three students, Asia Wright, Verona Wang, and Lane Lomery. They'll be helping with the breakout rooms. So today we're going to present Experiential Online Learning, Participatory Community Game Case Study. It's a case study on an exercise that was a part of one of the Landscape Architecture Department's courses called Environmental Design Analysis. So this is just a breakdown of the session. We are going to give a 15-minute talk where we will go over the Environmental Design Analysis course, or as we call it, EDA, that me and Holly Nelson taught in the fall of 2021. We're also going to go over some online learning tools and methods we used, and we'll give an overview of this community design charrette game that students played over Zoom. And then Holly's also going to briefly discuss game learning. And then we're going to place everyone in breakout rooms to play this charrette game for about 30 minutes. It uses Google Slides, so we'll provide everyone with the link. And then afterwards, we can have a short Q&A discussion session. So this brings us to what is EDA. So it's a longstanding course in the Landscape Architecture Department that aims to introduce landscape architecture and bring in incoming students into the department. So it's a long standing course that we've had. It was first taught in a large lecture hall for many years until the pandemic hit in 2020. So during that fall semester when it was taught, it was moved online. And so when Holly and I taught it, it was asynchronous with pre-recorded lectures and uploaded assignments. But we also added a synchronous component to it, which were Friday Zoom sessions with all 45 of the students we had. So the course itself covers a wide range of topics within landscape architecture, planning, sociology, and human use surrounding our environment and ecology of place. So in EDA, students explore how their everyday experience is situated in a landscape of cultural and environmental significance. So throughout the course, they analyze the meanings, values, and processes that shape our homes, gardens, streets, neighborhoods, cities, parks, farms, and wilderness. And they all kind of touch upon the topic shown here in this Venn diagram. And since this course is about people and their environment, it was important to keep students engaged with the material, working together and going outside and analyzing their environments. So the pandemic was, as we all know, very socially isolating for most people. So we tried to create a space online where we could actually meet up once a week to discuss the exercises, lecture material, and discussion posts. and it really gave us the opportunity to maintain a social component. So to keep up engagement and introduce students to landscape architecture, we incorporated many different tools and teaching methods. So for our multimodal learning tools, we used mapping websites like Social Explorer, YouTube videos, annotated readings through Hypothesis, which is an application on Canvas. I would imagine it's also on Blackboard and other course websites. And projects that keep students active and present in their outside world away from their computer, like visiting parks in their surrounding neighborhood. We also tried to boost social engagement as much as we could by having the students work together in breakout rooms, reading with one another, doing data collection, picture postings, and the charrette game as an in-class exercise. So that kind of brings us to this charrette game where we used Google Slides as our game board so students could work collaboratively together at the same time. And before going into this, I'll turn it over to Holly, who is going to go over game learning.
Thanks. So playing a game together is a great way to create social ties in an online learning environment. The game we're going to play today incorporates experiential learning related to community design. James G. is a researcher whose work focused on the classroom application of learning principles related to video games. A good video game challenges players. When we think of games, we think of fun. When we think of learning, we think of work. But games show us that this is wrong. They trigger deep learning that is itself part and parcel of the fun. Next. G developed some principles of game learning, which we incorporate in the game design. Some of the categories included are empowerment, problem solving, and understanding. So let's start with empowerment. Learners have agency in the game. They participate as a character and co-produce the knowledge. We also have customization and identity. The game was designed to provide various perspectives. Each player selects a character to play and takes on a new identity. Games allow people to confront complex problems in a safe environment. In this game, students play a community member in a simulated community meeting. The game provides order in what in real life can be a noisy and conflict-filled process. Later, they can apply the lessons learned from game simulation to a real-world meeting. Next. Participatory design is co-design. Community members play a role in creating a design solution. The goal is to work together to understand problems in order to design good solutions. Students practice by taking on the role of the public. They represent someone else's needs and desires so they can understand what it's like to be on the other side of the table. The game proceeds with 2 rounds as people are guided to have conversation, listen, and work together. Round 1 asks you, the player, to represent your character's wants and needs. In round 2, you create compromise. What does the group want and need? Next.
Okay, so thank you, Holly. The game is quite simple and its base tool is PowerPoint. So all game boards were made in PowerPoint and transferred to Google Slides to be shared with students in breakout rooms. So each student could play the game at the same time in real time. So this is one of the charrette games from fall of 2021. So when you open the link, you're greeted by the first slide with your group number. So the goal of the game is to introduce students to participatory design, working with and role-playing as community members in a simulation. So a community design charrette, which is pretty much a time where different stakeholders, it could be designers, of course, we're landscape architects, but community members, designers, other stakeholders in a public project come together and work on kind of creating solutions and design ideas. So each slide has directions and guidance on how to play the game. The second slide here reads, "Good morning, welcome to the Community Design Charrette." And it also defines Design Charrette as an intensive hands-on workshop that brings people from different disciplines and backgrounds together with members of the community to explore design options for a particular area. It differs from a traditional community consultation process in that it is design-based. It then asks, working in small groups, role play, and discuss design ideas for a new open space project in the lower Broadway area of Newark, New Jersey. So the idea is to not only play your character, but to listen to all the characters and their different wishes and viewpoints. So the third slide to the right has all the community member character roles and their description. So for example, with this iteration of the game, we had a local church member, a social studies teacher from a school nearby, a neighboring resident, and someone from this environmental conservancy in Newark, New Jersey. So after reading the roles on slide 4, people place their name next to the community member they want to role play as. So on slide 5, in step 2, students generated design ideas that focused on the character's needs, ideas, values, and desires for the open space project. So some examples are, for the church member, an idea was a playground for children to play on their walk from church. Values were religion, family, being a mother, and quality time. Concerns included maintaining her family tradition of taking walks every Sunday after church. So another student role playing as a food corps member from the Greater Newark Conservancy said that their idea was to put a community garden in the space, and their values were creating a space that will better serve the community as a whole by solving food insecurity, and concern as maintaining the space by keeping the community involved and having the garden flourish with community participation. So slide 6 through 8 is the first round of designing and moving the game pieces. So slide 6 has the directions for the design round 1 and reads, "Share ideas one by one. Starting with one person, move around the table. First person states their top concern or idea and so on. No interruptions allowed. Only that person talks, everyone else is silent while they mark observations and propose ideas. Play your character, but also pay attention to character interactions, as would if you were a designer." Then it gives directions on how to move the pieces. So on slide 8, which is down on the left-hand corner, that's the base map. And the goal is to kind of take turns adding game pieces found on slide 7 at the top right corner. So those are all things, you could see them here, like gardens, trees, playing fields, and they're all kind of able to be clicked on, copied, and pasted onto the base map on slide 8. And you can also adjust the size, rotate them. And we also had students kind of take other images from, Google or online to kind of make this space their own. And we'll also go over the actual version for today in real time before you all play the game. And so you can see here on slide 8 also how the students in their kind of exercise of this, how they organized all of their kind of design ideas. You see like community garden, benches, seating areas, trees. So on slide 9, it asks to perform the same design task a second time, but this time everyone's working together. So it reads, after everyone has taken a turn, discuss the results of round 1. Consider, can you see ideas that are compatible? are certain areas more complicated by differing needs or ideas? Then it asks you to copy the round 1 pieces onto the round 2 map on slide 10. And the group may suggest ways to combine ideas, shift locations, or come up with a new idea together. The goal here is to move, add, edit, combine ideas until the entire group is satisfied with the final result. So, and here on slide 10, you can see this student group's final result. You know, they kind of worked together to shift everything, kind of figure out how all their needs as their character roles worked together. And then on slide 11 to the bottom left is step 5, which is the final reflection, where students wrote down 3 to 5 concerns, discussions, or ideas that were generated from the process and how they resolved them through design and teamwork. So, for example, one reads, open space and walkability. The park was too crowded in the first draft, so there were not too many open spaces for working out or sitting. So we removed one of the sports field and kept an empty lot and added more benches. So now I'm going to kind of share my screen showing you all the Google Docs that you're going to work on today. So here you can see from the environmental design analysis course, these were some of the final results me and Holly had. The students kind of came up with a bunch of different ideas for this one lot. And it was really great to see how they worked together and kind of use this online tool to create different ideas. So let me share my screen. So this is the game that we're going to put you all in breakout rooms to play. So you can see here, it follows the same sort of order, except for this one, you're going to role play and discuss design ideas for an open space project in downtown New Brunswick, New Jersey. So just a little background about this space for you all. There is a hospital called Robert Wood Johnson right by. It's right next to Rutgers University, so a lot of college students. There was also an elementary school nearby, and it's right in the downtown area. So there's lots of businesses and it's very bustling in this area. So we do have character roles here. Once you're in breakout rooms, you can kind of read through and pick one. So step 1 is choosing your role. Step 2 is coming up with design ideas for that role. And then it follows the 2 design rounds. So round 1 is where everyone individually is adding their ideas to the base map. So for example, I'll just kind of show you all. So this is the game pieces. You can kind of select a few here, copy them, and paste them right onto the base map. And you can kind of adjust the size, move things around, shift them however you like. So, and then for the second round, you can just copy them, and then working together or kind of coming up with a whole nother idea, you can paste them and then start working as a group. And then the final reflection is just writing down any kind of concerns, discussions, or ideas generated in the process and how the team worked through them. So for now, I guess we have 10 people here. We're going to put you all in probably one breakout room. And we're gonna have Asia, Verona, and Lane also play with you all. So let's see, let's create one room.
Play with the pros.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna put us all in.
Yeah, Olga says, why do we need the room then?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well then, do we all want to? Well, there's 10 people, so I'm just
I
gonna
will,
create
I
the
will
room.
observe.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you all should have. There we go. Okay, let me join this room.
Seems smooth. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. I put the link in.
Okay, good. For
Yeah.
the, yeah. Randall and Verona have their mics off. Oh, Randall's gone. I think if the participants are elementary school teachers or middle school teachers, this could be interesting for them.
Yeah, I think they're college though, but,
Mm.
but it's still fun.
Mhm. So you think they'll need that long to play with just 7 people?
I told them like 25 minutes, and we'll
Okay.
just bring them back. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 of them playing, but than us in here. Oh, and we could watch them play. They're all on there.
How do you watch them?
I'll
Go in
send you
there?
the link. No, no,
Yeah.
no. You could watch them from the link.
Oh, I love doing that. Okay, that's fun. Paige is playing a Rutgers student. Typecast.
That's good. Yeah. That's fun. They're putting in all their design ideas. I love
Mhm.
watching actually from just the thing.
I know, it's fun. Wait, are they on? They jumped ahead to round 2, didn't they? Or are they on round 1?
They're on step 2, so they're just doing
Okay.
design ideas. They're still putting in there. Everyone's kind of on that slide. Okay, let's see. You know, another comment we had about this is that people had a hard time understanding what the game pieces were. And, you know, but I
So
think
the students are there. I don't think it'll be as hard.
yeah, they were very up for interpretation, I guess.
Yeah, some of them are like just cool graphic designs, except they're really benches and tables, you know?
Yeah.
And the rocks are probably, no one knows what to think about them. Even the umbrellas, like, because you wouldn't automatically assume that was an umbrella unless you're a landscape architect.
They're really spending a lot of time on this
I wonder,
design ideas slide.
I wonder if they're talking.
Seems like Tim is talking.
Or you can see his mic going, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, they're probably taking turns talking about
Oh, yeah.
their ideas.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Tim's talking a lot.
I was thinking the same thing.
Can you
That's good.
see it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Who is he playing as? He is a restaurant owner.
There goes Lane.
There we go. You know, and I really think no matter who you are, I think this is just a fun game in general, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're moving stuff.
Well, they're putting, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they just put one piece on the first time? I can't remember.
I think Asia's putting a bunch.
Okay, good.
Who is Asia playing as? Oh, the Rutgers student.
A lot of sports stuff.
Yeah. Olga and Tim are both talking now at the same time.
Hmm.
Interesting. I kind of want to go in there, but I don't.
Yeah, I fear if we pop in there and they're feeling
gonna-
uncomfortable to begin with, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna break. Maybe it's gonna break their concentration.
So what does it mean that Verona was on slide 9, but everybody else isn't?
Maybe they're just there because they did their turn.
Hmm. She's zooming ahead.
Yeah. Oop, they're going to round 2. Why do I feel like there should be more stuff in here?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because they made the pieces small.
Maybe. Maybe they could add gardens or something.
Do you want to go in there?
No. I'm sure they'll start adding more stuff. Oh, yeah, they're adding more stuff. So is EDA going to be like all in person, or just like lectures and then in person?
Yeah, or it'll be flipped, so the lectures will be asynchronous.
Okay. Well, you could just run this same exercise, but in person, like
Mhm.
during the other conference.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, remember Emily Lascana?
Sounds familiar.
She had the avatar of, she's like a little girl with a little tiny backpack in a street.
Yeah, yeah, with the umbrella or something.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
just contacted me and said she wants to do her George Cook in landscape architecture, even though she's EPIB
Oh, cool.
because
That's
of
great.
EDA. Yeah.
That's great.
Meet with her tomorrow. Yeah, I don't see a lot of change yet.
They're moving stuff.
What'd they do with the basketball? Hanging
It's off
off
to the
the end.
side for now.
Yeah. Got the kibosh.
Interesting.
Be right back.
Okay. Should I say like 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll end it at 4:50, I guess.
This is the most analog digital game I could imagine. It's so
I
great.
know.
They're coming back? No,
I'll close it.
they're up for the game
Oh.
pieces.
They're putting more game pieces. I'll close all rooms at 4:49.
Okay. Looks like they added a patio and some
Yeah,
gardens. They had some gardens.
that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna close it. That's okay that they didn't get to that last round.
We just
Yeah.
have a little talk and then
Okay. I'm gonna close in a minute. They probably have no idea what's happening.
can you broadcast?
I told them.
Okay. Where'd you see the broadcast thing?
It's gone now, but it's usually at the bottom of the breakout rooms.
Okay.
It says message and
Oh, yeah.
broadcast off.
Yeah.
Sorry, we kicked everyone out of the breakout room. We only have 10 more minutes. Thought we'd see how it went.
How'd it go?
It was great.
was great.
We didn't fill out the reflection, but we spent a lot of time.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time doing the second round. So we kind of gather everyone's idea from the first round, make changes on the second one.
Nice. So Tim and Olga, what do you guys think about this kind of method? Tim, you're muted.
I knew that. I always meet you when you come back in. I thought it was really interesting, and I thought it was really telling how quick we kind of all came together and started to, well, what's important, and is this too much? And, I think this is valuable to me from my perspective. So that working together community-wise, I think was really good. And then I think hearing everybody's priorities, and their take on their character, I thought was very interesting. So I really liked it. Yeah.
How about you, Olga?
Yeah, I agree completely. Kind of like negotiating, seeing what other people's priorities are is important, and seeing how we can work together to kind of address everybody's concerns and priorities. And I'm just sitting here and thinking where else I could use an activity like this, besides designing a community space, like in a different class perhaps. So
We had
yeah.
a lot of elementary school teachers last time we showed this that were saying we could design a learning environment.
Yeah.
So I think the tech we're using is so low tech that it makes it really accessible, and yet you can manipulate the stuff together online. So
Oh yeah, 100%. This is really cool. I can see this even happening asynchronously in an online class, for example. as
Mhm.
long as there are like deadlines associated with
Mhm.
each stage. But yeah, I would love to like brainstorm. As an instructional designer, I work in different areas and disciplines. So I'm just wondering where I could inspire my SMEs to have something like this, an activity. Love it.
Are you at the college level or K-12?
Yes.
Mhm.
College.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And same thing with you, Tim?
Yes.
Mhm. Well, cool. Thank you for coming and daring to play. Hope it works for you in some new situations.
Yeah, I like your ideas on how to use it too. Olga, I was trying to figure it out and or think about where I could apply it. And I like the way you talked about, the asynchronous piece, but with the either synchronous or some deadlines in there. I think it could really work well.
Yeah, it's just so great that anyone can work on one document at the same time, and that's kind of like the beauty of it, for sure.
Cool. Well,
Okay.
thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much. And thank you so much, Asia, Lane, and Verona, too, for
You're
helping out.
welcome.
Takes a little
Okay.
village.
So I guess we're gonna go. Okay.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
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 Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.